Welcome to the PBM Insider. I am Jim Lodge, an actual PBM insider. Question for you today. Do you think the U.S. should have the lowest drug prices in the world? There's been a lot of buzz that President Trump's so-called most favored nation drug pricing plan is about to go live. But the reality on the ground is a little more complex than that. As a reminder, the MFN Executive Order number 151 was signed back in May of 2025. The administration issued the order in an attempt at aligning U.S. drug prices with the lowest prices paid in other developed countries. Federal agencies were directed to act quickly to make that happen. Specifically, Health and Human Services and CMS were instructed to identify MFN price targets and communicate them to pharmaceutical manufacturers. In turn, those drug companies were asked to voluntarily agree to MFN pricing terms, with the understanding that failure to cooperate could lead to formal rulemaking, a much longer and legally complex process. Several major drug manufacturers have announced MFN-aligned pricing deals on some select medications, including things like insulin and some of the high-cost specialty drugs. These agreements are expected to begin rolling out during 2026. So does that mean MFN pricing is, quote, going into effect soon? Not necessarily. Here's the key distinction. MFN pricing is not yet a broad, automatic mandate across the entire market, as was originally envisioned. What is happening now is a two-track approach with some voluntary MFN agreements starting to take shape, and those will indeed lower prices on specific drugs. However, a formal, enforceable MFN pricing rule has not yet been finalized and will take additional time, regulatory action, and likely face some serious legal challenges. Another salient point to consider is what the impact will be to commercial plans, because all too often these types of national changes impact those plans differently than government-sponsored plans like Medicaid and Medicare. The bottom line, MFN drug pricing is no longer just a political talking point. It is actively unfolding. But how far it goes, how fast it spreads, and how durable it is remains to be determined over the next year. This is the PBM Insider, keeping you informed.